So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Okay, hey everybody. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Bible News Radio. I am your sweet and lovable host, Stacy Lynn Harp, and today we are going to look at some news of the day. We're going to talk about what happened yesterday in Sacramento, as well as tell you some of the things that happened actually. And we have an interesting story coming out of Australia about a guy that was homosexual eating pizza with his sister who got beat up. But it's fishy. It's a fishy story. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Disneyland and their gay days. They have decided that they're going to make Mickey Mouse rainbow ears for everybody to wear. Yeah, they are. You know, Isaiah 5:20 says in the end that good will be called evil, and evil will be called good. Bitter will be called sweet, and sweet will be called bitter. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm actually still waiting for my Periscope to load so I can see you guys coming in. That's why I haven't said hi yet. But if you're there, hi. I'll get over to you on Facebook in just a second. I don't know why it's taken forever for me to load here, but to those of you who are on our social media platforms, we are only heard on social media. I have people all the time tell me, what radio station can I hear you on? I'm like, you can't. We're alternate media. We are in the process, Lord willing, of becoming a nonprofit, which will help everybody. And we're new media, which means we're not bought and sold by puppets everywhere. So I just have to tell you that we do our best to share the gospel truth, right? Right? Which reminds me, the website GQ, I know you don't go there because why would you? But they have a new article up there titled 21 Books You Don't Have to Read. And they put the Bible in that list. I'm going to tell you what they're recommending instead of the Bible, and I'm going to tell you what they said about the Bible. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. Yeah, he has. And the fool is an idiot, just so you know. Alright, so I still don't see Periscope loading. I see you guys in there, but I don't actually see the screen. So hopefully, if it's okay, hopefully it is okay. Alright. As always, I want to thank all of you guys for taking time out of your day to join us. I really am humbled by it. I really am. You guys have no idea. I've been doing this show for 13 years, 3 years on video. And when God called me, literally, to go and be a spy, yeah, he did. Do I look like a spy to you? If I don't, then I'm a good one. Because, you know, if you look like a spy, then people might go, I think that person's a spy. Should I trust them? Anyway. But anyway, God called me out of this. You know, he called me out of the counseling field and into this one. And honestly, I was thinking, me and Randall were talking the other night, and I was thinking, if I had designed my life the way that I wanted it to be, it wouldn't have been this. I'm just saying, it would not have been this. I have had the blessing on so many levels of talking to thousands of people, interviewing people. People want to talk to me for some reason. Why? I don't know. Can I come on Bible News Radio? I'm like, yeah, sure. It's fine with me if you want to come on. I'm good with that. Oh, there we are. I had to refresh you guys. Okay. And anyway, and then I get all these other pitches. Like, how many of you guys have heard of the Oak Ridge Boys? Yeah, you probably have if you're old like me. Or maybe if you're not old, you maybe have heard of them. Anyway, I have an invitation to get an interview with those guys, talk about their brand new, their CD that's come out. They were recently on the Huckabee show. And stuff. So anyway, I've had these very interesting experiences getting to interview a lot of fun people, a lot of interesting people, a lot of unique people. But you know what they all have in common? They all have in common that they love Jesus. The overwhelming majority. I'd say 99.9% of the people I've had on the show are followers of Yeshua. And that's a good thing. It really, I mean, that's an awesome thing, right? Yeah. Clap your hands if you love God. Yeah, you do. And if you're a mocker and a scoffer, just so you know, God loves you too. And you were prophesied about in the Bible for the end times. You were called for such a time as this to be a mocker and a scoffer, if that's what you are. Your mom listened to him. Yeah, you know what? My mom listened to Freddie Fender, the Oak Ridge Boys, and Charlie Price. And, you know, it's really interesting. I don't know how many of you guys know who Charlie Price is, but Charlie Price is also I thought that's not the right word. A classic singer from decades ago who was inducted into the Opryland Hall of Fame, I think 25 years ago. They're actually doing a celebration for him too, which is kind of interesting. I thought that was kind of neat. So anyway, that was just fun. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I want to share the Bible story first, and then after that, I'm going to share what happened yesterday in Sacramento. You guys, you know, yesterday there was a battle happening in Sacramento, and if you didn't listen to the Bullhorn interview that I did with Denise Smith, who lives up there in that area, then go to bullhorn.com or getbullhorn.com, download the app, and then follow us, and then tune into it. I think it's like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. You can fast forward through it by pushing 6 until you get to about 7-minute mark, and then you'll hear Denise actually on the spot. And by the way, I should tell you, if you're somewhere in the country and there's something happening in your neck of the woods that's not getting any press, tell me about it. You can be my boots on the ground reporter for Bible News Radio. As long as you can validify what you're talking about and prove it, and then actually document something that's happening that you think would be worthy, then I'm all for it. I love to expose things and to report on things that most people don't. Because, frankly, most of the stuff that's not being reported on in mainstream media needs to be. So, yeah. So anyways, let me get to this article, though. And then I'm going to tell you, there was a big victory yesterday. We're going to show you actual footage in a couple of minutes. I'm giving Randall a little bit of time to set it up. But you're going to see some of the terrorist homeschoolers that the government is threatened by in California. I'm being facetious, just so you know. I'm not being serious. Homeschoolers aren't terrorists, just so you know. But, you know, you'd think that they are by how the government's trying to treat them there. But anyway, you'll see who they are, some of them, and you'll go, oh my gosh. So anyway, but over on GQ, there's this article titled 21 Books You Don't Have to Read. And I read through this article. I'm going to read the first part. It says, we've been told all of our lives that we can only call ourselves well-read once we've read the great books. We tried. We got halfway through Infinite Jest, halfway through the Spark Notes on Finnegan's Wake, but a few pages into Bleak House, we realized then that all the great books have aged well. Some are racist, some are sexist, but most are just really, really boring. So we, in a group of unboring writers, give you permission to strike these books from the canon, and here's what you should read instead. Okay, look, we all have a right to our free speech and what we want to read, but I will tell you something. When somebody starts to tell you what you can't read, what they're doing is they're trying to limit your knowledge. And I am a massive advocate of telling people to read opposing viewpoints of what you actually believe. So, as Billy Graham's been credited for saying, you know, read the Bible in one hand, the newspaper in another. I agree. Read the Bible and then read whatever the opposing enemy. If you're going to create a case against somebody in the court of law, you need to know your enemy's case better than you know your own. Because if you know their points, then it'll be easier to defend your own. So I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I will tell you the Bible is on the list of books that they don't want you to read. Also, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger is on there. The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway is on that list. The Alchemist, that one's on there. A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. They don't want you to read that one. No, they don't. John Adams by David McCullough. They don't want you to read that one. They don't want you to read... This is outrageous. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. They don't want you to read that. Are you serious? Yeah, they are. But number 12 on the list is the Bible. And I'm going to read what they said here. Instead of reading the Bible, they recommend that you read the book, The Notebook. All right, listen to this. The Holy Bible, at least they called it holy. The Holy Bible is rated very highly by all the people who supposedly live by it, but who in actuality have not read it. How do they live by it if they actually haven't read it? That don't make any sense. Anyway, those who have read it know there are some good parts, but overall, it is certainly not the finest thing that man has ever produced. Really? Well, geez, Louise, man, I've read the Bible for 30-something years now, and I have never seen one part in the Bible that I don't think is a good part. I think the whole book rocks. I mean, it's an awesome book. But here's the thing. Man didn't write the book. Man didn't produce the book. The Lord did. God wrote it. He used humans to, as his instruments to get it down on paper, but ultimately the Lord wrote the book, right? Just saying, he wrote the book, the Bible. And then this knucklehead says, it is repetitive, self-contradictory, sententious, foolish, and even, at times, ill-intentioned. If the thing you heard was good about the Bible was the nasty bits, then I propose Agatha Christoff's The Notebook, a marvelous tale of two brothers who have to get along when things get rough. The subtlety and cruelty of this story is like that famous sword stroke from below the boat that plunged upward through the bowels, the lungs, and the throat into the brains of the rower. Seriously? I mean, really? You gotta be kidding me, right? Okay, so not only does the knucklehead who wrote this, doesn't understand how the Bible came together, but they're calling the book, the Holy Bible, repetitive, self-contradictory, sententious, foolish, and ill-intentioned. Which tells me that the knucklehead who wrote that has no clue what the heck he's talking about, because the Bible is anything but that. But here's the other thing. You will note, if you actually go to this GQ article, then you'll note that they don't pick on any other holy books that you shouldn't read. They're not saying don't read the Quran. They're not saying don't read the Book of Mormon. They're not saying don't read the Satanic Bible. They're not saying don't read the Hindu books or the Buddha books or whatever other new agey booksies out there that are leading people to, their spiritual self in the sky. They're not saying any of that. They're only picking on the Bible. Why are they picking on the Bible, people? I'll tell you why. Because they hate God. That's why. Yeah, they do. They hate God. They hate the Bible. They're idiots. The fool says in their heart there is no God. And you know what? In the end, they're doomed. I mean, really. And I know that I should be more loving and compassionate towards the lost. But right now I'm in exhortation, expose the unfruitful deeds of darkness mode. Just so you know. Which actually in itself is an evangelistic thing, because there are some, many are called, few are chosen, the harvest is plentiful, the laborers are few. Therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into the harvest, so that hopefully some of those where the seed is landed will land on good seed, and then hopefully they'll have God's word rooted in their heart, right? Okay. I bring this up because they're not picking on any other holy book. And I'm not going to say that all those other books are holy. They're unholy. Fakes. Right, John? Hello, sweet and lovable man. By the way, now that I can see you guys, I'll say hi to you. Rob and Melanie, Diane, Marty, Dan, Monica, Mia, and I think that's a sex bot. Yes, even the sex bots like Bible News Radio. And I should also say, let's see here, I'm going to go ahead and pull up over here on Facebook in case anybody tuned in, because sometimes you guys do. And I'm going to say, let's see here. It is a dream of mine to have a studio where I don't have to do all this stuff. Okay, it doesn't look like anybody's over here. Oh, Denise, you're there. Okay, Denise is on Facebook. Or at least she was anyway. All right, I'm going to hit like. Okay, so that's the first thing. Do you have the thing ready?
Which thing is the thing?
The video that Denise sent us?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so yesterday, those homeschoolers, they went up to Sacramento to rally against the bill that we talked about yesterday. I forgot the number of it, but anyway, I'll look that up in a minute. But anyway, I think it's AB 29. No, that's not it. It's different.
2756.
2756. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so here's what happened. Denise told me, she was there. She said that there were approximately 1,000 people that showed up to protest. That's a lot of people. I mean, seriously, that's a lot of people to show up to protest a bill in California. And these people made an impact, and that's an awesome thing. So what we're going to show you is we're going to show you the actual footage from the Assembly, the California Legislative website. What they do, in case you don't know, most of these places, they actually videotape these public hearings, so everything's on record, literally. And it's here online, and we're just going to show you a couple of minutes of the activist community standing up for their rights. So go ahead and
as we discussed beforehand, I'm going to want to pause at a couple of places.
Okay.
And, put in some commentary. So, let me make sure that I've got audio going here. I think this channel, Facebook is kind of, not Facebook, Firefox is kind of weird with stuff. Anyway, so here it is.
Hi, I'm Kristen Shepard. I'm from Orange, California. As a former public school educator, I oppose this bill, and I represent over 100 families in Orange County.
Hello.
All right, I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
Okay, a former public school educator. So it's not like, these homeschoolers are some whack jobs in a, David Koresh commune somewhere, stockpiling weapons and, this, and it's not like, well, anybody who knows anything about public education, how wonderful it is, once a public educator, always a public educator. For a public educator, public education used to be pretty decent. I remember when I was in school, learned a lot, but over the years, where actual knowledge has been devalued in place of, self-esteem, which is most important, which is the highest goal of all.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Yeah, anyway, we see public educators leaving the public school system become homeschoolers. Anyway, so back to the, let's pick it up from there.
I'm Sandra Bruns from Livermore, California. I'm a private homeschooler, and I oppose this bill as amended.
Hi, my name is Imlai Randolph, and I strongly oppose this bill as amended. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jessica Clanahan. I am from Fullerton, California. I am a public middle school counselor in Garden Grove Unified School District, and I am a future homeschooling mother, and I strongly oppose this bill as amended.
All right, cut there, and I'm solo. Whoops. Let's bring it back to both of us. This is a school counselor, public school counselor, who sees the kids, who tell her about their troubles, and no doubt she says, I'm currently a public school counselor and a future homeschooling mother. I mean, what do you think in her public school counseling experience would influence her to be a future homeschool mother?
I don't know. I can speak as a former public school counselor at the elementary school level for 3 years in Costa Mesa, California Elementary School is the name of the school I actually spent 3 years at. And, I don't know. Let's see, the gaifying of the counseling field and education. the ignorance, the overwork of I mean, it just a lot. Here's the truth. The truth is, usually, most of the kids I saw, it wasn't the kid's problem, it was the parent's problem. And unfortunately, that is the issue, parental issue. Being a good parent isn't easy. It's just not. And some parents have the idea that they throw their kids in school for 8 hours or whatever it is a day so that they can get away from them. Yeah, hey, you're my babysitter. People use church for that same thing too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But a lot of them don't do the work, and you know, I mean, I remember the worst parent that I had. True story. As a therapist, I was a newbie too. Now I would just probably go, really, lady? But the worst case I had was this little girl. She would come in, and she was having wedding issues. Let's just say that. And her mom was a psychologist. Her mom was demanding that this girl had her own bathroom and nobody else could use it.
Not wedding DDTs.
Yeah, wetting, like, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, so instead of actually trying to help her daughter medically, which is, by the way, the number one thing you should do if your baby is having a problem in some way, take them to the doctor. The doctor found nothing wrong with her. Well, gee, I wonder what the first thing I would suspect if my little girl was wetting and anxious and things like that. I wonder if I would suspect sexual abuse. Hello. Anyway, I brought this up to the psychologist mom, who was psycho, actually. And she got all over me. And I'm like, really, lady? Because, look, if you need to bring your kid to the doctor if she needs help. But, I mean, she was one of these parents who was like, rah, 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 you know, and this is how it's going to be and everything. And I talked to this girl, and she was completely neglected. Completely. And her mom was a head shrinker, just saying. I could tell you other stories, but we don't have a lot of time for that. Want to keep playing?
Yeah, let's do that.
The video? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Stand by.
Hi, I'm Kristen Takamori from Westminster, homeschool mom to 4, and I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Denise Smith, and I'm from Oakley, California. I have graduated my children from home education. They have multiple master's and bachelor's degrees. I am now a second-generation home educator. We oppose this bill.
That's Denise. Yay! That was our boots on the ground right there.
So, multiple masters.
The nerve.
For children, you know.
That successful homeschooling parent raising children to get master's degrees.
Yeah, you know, because homeschooling, you know, it's not quality education. You know, we need to shut that stuff down because they don't get the, you know, quality education they would in a public school.
Oh, no. See, they want to shut it down because of the faith factor.
I know
yeah.
that's, well, and, well, it's not only the faith factor. I think that's part of it, but it's also because they're not exposed to the state propaganda.
Right.
You know, the state wants to, you know, the next generation to be lockstep with, you know, what the government, you know, is doing. And which part of it is eliminating faith, but
right.
There's a huge part of it.
Yeah, so anyway, though, that last one, that was Denise Smith, who did our reporting. You can hear the whole interview on Bullhorn if you haven't downloaded that yet. Okay, go ahead and play a little bit more.
Okay. All right, lots of stuff to click, so whoops, stand by.
It's okay.
Goodman. I'm from Oakley, California, representing Belvedere Academy. I'm a homeschool mother, and I strongly oppose this bill as amended.
Hello, my name is Isabella Goodman. I am from Oakley. I am a homeschool student, and I strongly oppose this bill as amended.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Lynn Carvalho. I am a home educator from Concord, California, and I strongly oppose this bill as amended.
I'm Noah Carvalho, and I'm a homeschool student, and I oppose this bill.
Thanks, Noah. My name is State Assemblyman Travis Allen. I am a California citizen. AB 2756 is absolutely wrong. It must fail. It must fail today. California's parents and our children have a right to the very best education that this state can possibly provide, whether it's public schools, public charter schools,
Mr.
or in
Allen,
their
let's
homes
limit it to
homeschooled.
name, affiliation, and position on the bill. I'm sorry.
Yes, I understand. Thank you very much.
Rules apply to everyone.
I've been a part of this process many times. Let me tell you something. I am a California citizen.
Mr. Chair, point of
Mr.
order.
Allen, I'm sorry, but we need to get on to the next person in line.
Now, forgive me if I'm not aware, but isn't there a 1 minute limit on a person that a person can talk? I know when we did activism, when we would go before the city of Orange or wherever it was we were living at the time, it was 1 minute a citizen could actually talk.
It depends on whatever is going on.
Well, even if it was 30 seconds, they didn't even give him 30 seconds to talk.
Yeah, please state your affiliation. And well, he said
I'm a citizen of California.
Well, he's a state assemblyman, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they know who he is, but it's like they were looking to, shut him up, basically. Can't have someone from our own ranks opposing this bill. That seemed a little...
Yeah.
A little hostile there to me.
No, they would never be hostile towards people in California.
But one thing I enjoyed, if you're familiar with California, which, having spent most of my life there, I am.
Yeah, Ed says liberals get upset when you speak. When I speak, they do.
No. But just California's a big state, and people hearing... people mention these cities from Fullerton. There was a lot from Brentwood. And Brentwood is in LA County. It's an affluent area, not far from Hollywood. It's in the north side of LA County. And you remember the famous O.J. Simpson car chase and all that. I mean, his home was in Brentwood. Anyway, so it's, here we have close to Hollywood, California, lots of homeschoolers in Brentwood. And, so it was the stereotypes, well, these, homeschoolers are these are the poor, uneducated, and easy to command people. This is Brentwood, affluent area near Hollywood, and I was surprised at how many people in Brentwood, but Fullerton, there was Orange, there was Antioch, there was Oakley, there was Sacramento, there was North, South, right. Central California.
And Orange, the lady that was the counselor, right, was from Orange, or the teacher. She said she represented 100 families. So it wasn't, because they had to go, they were in Southern California. They had to go, they went to Northern California for this. That's not just a 2-hour drive.
No, that's like 5-hour drive.
Yeah. So
5-6 hour drive, depending time of day. But, Southern California, Central California, Northern California, it was quite diverse geographically and economically as well. So that just tells you something about...
Okay. Because we have other news to cover, I want to cover one other thing Denise sent me. She actually said, and for those of you who are interested in actually watching the hearing yourself, I'll go ahead and I'll tweet out the link to it. But at the 6-hour and 27-minute mark, when Medina's bill, this is the homeschooling bill, Medina's the guy that authored it. When that bill came up to be taken care of and voted on, there was no motion. Nobody said a word, which means that it died in committee.
Well, it doesn't mean it's...
Well,
it doesn't mean that it's dead.
Doesn't mean it's completely dead. But for now, according to Denise, she said that when it dies in committee, no motion, then there is no vote. No vote, it can't proceed.
Right. Nobody's going to bring it up again for a while after that.
After that
massive display of
outrage. And rightfully so. So to all of you out there who did that, you go, people.
Amen.
That's right. You are pillars of the community.
Amen.
In the truest sense of the word, by the way. I get emotional just thinking about it. Because, you know what? You guys have no idea how much that little act of courage and maybe even inconvenience was. But you did it. And you know what? We need more people to do that because when people don't speak up, especially for your kids, man. I was watching, listen to this. I was watching a leadership summit this morning online, and the guy that I was listening to, Dr. Sam Chan, he actually said that the way a church grows, it changes. It's completely, it used to be one way, but now it's another. And he said the way that it grows is through volunteers, through the children, through the guest experience, and then discipleship, where it used to be different otherwise. But the fact that children are involved and there are ungodly people trying to get your kid, the godly people got to stand up for the kids. And I'm going to tell you something. I was raised in an ungodly home, right? But God put a Filipino family next door to me in Southern California. They moved right next door. They were a Christian family that took care of their kids biblically. And that family befriended my mom and me and my brother and said, can we take your kids to church? When they found out my mom didn't go to church. That Christian family, in essence, changed the course of my life because I had just gotten saved in a public school, which I'm sure the devil wasn't happy about. But they took me to church, this Christian family, and, and next thing you know, I'm going to church, and, 30-something years later, I'm talking to all you guys. All right, so let's talk about some other stuff, though, too, because, let me know if you guys want to actually watch this whole thing, too, because I'll tweet it out. That way you can see it over at Bible News Radio. I'll do it after the show, though. That way I don't take up time to do this. Okay, so there's a story. I actually talked about this on Bullhorn. By the way, let me tell you a little bit about Bullhorn. Getbullhorn.com. Unfortunately for y'all who aren't here in the States, I don't think you can actually download the app yet. As far as I know, it's only for USA only. So I will be telling them that you guys are interested in different countries downloading it because, of course, we have an international audience here. But yeah, I forgot.
You were talking about Bullhorn.
I was. I just had these pop-ups. Okay, I'm going to focus, people. Anyway, okay, so Bullhorn is a mobile app. Basically, it's owned by freeconferencecall.com. They're a Christian company. They've hired me to be their brand ambassador. I'm using it every day to encourage you to kind of let people know what's going on here on Bible News Radio ahead of time. Randall's going to be doing some special devotions on it. A number of you, I think we got 33 followers so far on it. If you haven't followed us and you're in America and you can download it, please do follow us. We're doing a question of the day. And my ultimate goal is I'd love to do a prayer call or some type of group conference call with all you guys who are on it at some point, because that's really what the app is designed for. It's designed to build community. And they are specifically targeting prayer leaders, activists, people who are in sales, podcasters, and people like that. And the thing is, the reason why I'm so passionate about this app is because they're not going to censor me. They're not going to go, hey, you know what, so-and-so isn't going to be able to see what you say, and we're going to go ahead and hide that. And you know what, you're a Christian, so we're going to gag you. They're not going to do that, but all other social media is. So, and they're really going to make this app robust, and they're changing so much in it. So it's in beta right now, but, join me on it if you're not already on it. If you are on it and you're not engaging, because I can tell, then engage a little bit, leave a question or, listen to the audio. I'm really trying not to make the audio any longer than 15 minutes at the high end because you have to dial out right now. Eventually, you're not going to have to do that, though, because that's one of the new functions they're going to be putting in there. And all that. So just, become part of the Make Your Voice Be Heard team on Bullhorn. Okay? And then, yeah, we need your testimonies, Randall and Stacy. That's what Magnus says over there in Sweden. By the way, he is an artist. You should check out his scopes. He actually shows some cool art that he does there. It's pretty cool. What time is it over there right now, Magnus, in Sweden? I know it's 4:34 p.m. Central Time here right now. I'm just curious what the time difference is. And there's Stephen. Stephen came in on Bullhorn a couple days ago. I know some of you are there. So anyway, so...
thinking 7 hours ahead of here.
Yeah, I know it's like his bedtime. We're putting him to sleep. Yeah, we are, people. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, so let me get to this other thing over on LGBTQ nation.com. Okay, so I'm getting this from a homosexual run website, and it's titled, "A gay man was eating pizza with his sister, then someone beat him with a bike chain." Okay, I'm not making this up. You guys are going to see the picture. And the very first thing I'm going to say before I say anything else after this is, duh, hello, I condemn all violence against anybody. Violence against anybody is wrong. I mean, it's evil. There's no reason why we all have to beat each other up or carry bike chains around to beat people up. I mean, there's just no reason for it, right? It's 23:40, so it's 11:40? Oh, okay, so it's almost midnight. Wow, you're up late. Okay, so obviously, as a Christian or as a human, you don't even have to be a Christian. Of course, you want to condemn violence. So this is horrific. Nobody should be beaten up for anything. Christians shouldn't be beheaded, tortured, beaten up, or persecuted. Homosexuals shouldn't either, okay? So, but I want you to look at the marketing of this article, and that's why I bring this up. Listen to this. "A gay man was eating pizza with his sister, then someone beat him with a bike chain." That's the title, okay? Now, the question is, if you didn't read this article, what would you think? Well, you would think that this gay man was all innocent, sitting there just eating pizza, and then somebody out of nowhere decided to come up and whap the guy with a bike chain, right? I mean, that's what you would think. At least that's what I would think, because that's what it says. By the way, that is actually a poor title for an article, by the way. But anyway. Okay, so it goes on here and says, "A gay man who was eating pizza with his sister was brutally attacked by a stranger and left with possible brain damage." Okay, so fact number one that we have here is that he was attacked by a stranger. So write the word stranger down here, people. Okay, because that's interesting. Why was the person carrying a bike chain? That is actually a good question. You know, who carries bike chains around? I don't know, Melanie. But it says he was left with possible brain damage. Okay, so possible brain damage. So we got this medical issue. All right, so then they put a nice picture of the guy with his apparent sister in there. And the guy's name is Bradley Skinner. He was at a Domino's in small town in Queensland, Australia. Okay, so this is what it says. This guy walked past, and we were all laughing and having a good time about to go home, Bradley, 25, said. Then a stranger walking by called him a faggot. Okay, which is, you know, that's not nice. You shouldn't be doing that. Bradley ignored the comment, telling the Daily Mercury that he's used to being called slurs, but his sister Amanda stood up for him. He ended up hitting her in the face, Bradley said, and it went on from there, and he got out his chain and started whacking me with it. Okay, so the first thing I notice here is if you read the words carefully of this article, it says we were having a good time. So the we implies that it could have been just him and his sister, but it sounded like it could also be a lot more other people too, because it says a stranger. The second thing I noticed is that she got hit in the face, according to this article. He ended up hitting her in the face, Bradley said. So my question is, if he hit this woman in the face, how come we don't see pictures of her? I mean, what did he do? Go like this? Like a tap? Or did he like whap her in the face? I mean, if he beat the crap out of Bradley with a chain, I would assume that he would have also done some damage to this girl. But we don't see anything or hear anything else in the article about that. So I find that a little bit odd. And then it says, Bradley said, he started pelting me with it over and over. He hit me from my upper legs up to my head. I kept trying to grab it and cover my face while he was swinging it at me. When he hit me on the head, that's when I blacked out, obviously. I mean, hello. And then it says here, he said he remembers vomiting, but nothing came out. Bradley finally came to when paramedics shined a light into his eye. So at some point, the paramedics were called. I don't know if Amanda was the one that called them or somebody at Domino's. I have no idea. But then he says, I couldn't open my eyes, but I could hear everything that was going on. But Amanda remembers what happened when her brother was unconscious. He just kept hitting him until he was knocked out, which that sounds horrible. I tried to rip him away from my brother, but it didn't work. I thought he was dead. He was just laying there. There was blood coming out of his head. And then it shows, if you scroll through, you can see that. Bradley was taken to the hospital with a laceration on his head. and bruises on his body. And then it says he was released the next day, but went back to the hospital when he couldn't keep his balance and had trouble speaking due to possible brain damage. Now, I would think that they wouldn't have released him in the first place if he actually had possible brain damage. I just find that very odd that they would have released him ahead of time. But anyway, then it says he has to take at least 3 weeks off of work. Queensland's, okay, and this is the part that makes all of this suspicious to me. Queensland police confirmed that the incident occurred and statements were taken from both Bradley and the attacker. The attacker has not been arrested. Okay? So, let me get this straight. The attacker hits Amanda in the face, but we don't see any proof or evidence of that. And then he has a chain after apparently calling Bradley a faggot, and he hits the guy upside the head, and he beats him up, basically. Apparently, the attacker doesn't run anywhere because he decided, oh, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and be interviewed by the police when they show up. Really? I would think that if this was some type of hate crime or something, or however you want to define it, that the guy that did it would have bolted. It doesn't say anywhere that there was like police or anybody trying to attack the attacker down, you know, pounce on him. Yeah, Amanda couldn't apparently hold the guy back. But I just think it's really weird, don't you guys? And then here's the next line in the article. The next line says, this is the 3rd time Bradley has been gay bashed. Well, that's interesting. So they're saying here, in one hand, that it was a stranger and all this other stuff, but the attacker wasn't arrested, but this is the 3rd time Bradley has been gay bashed. Something doesn't add up here. And then it goes on to say, it makes me paranoid to go to work, surrounded by men thinking they are all out to get me, Bradley told the Daily Mail. Going out to have a good night, I'm always unsure of what's around the corner. And anyway, and what's really weird is they show, I don't know, Randall, if you've showed the whole thing, but they show this big, huge bruise on his leg, and apparently he's wearing pink underwear. If you scroll down, and I don't see how that could have happened from a bike chain. It just doesn't fit to me. It doesn't seem like it fits the story being told. But the reason I bring this up is because whenever I read an article about a homosexual so-called hate crime, and they're not calling it that here, but usually, and I'm not going to say all times, but usually there's somebody in their own community doing it, and or it's been faked. Charlie Rogers is a perfect example of that. So I'm wondering what you think, Bareface, and what do you guys think here? Is the attacker the sister's husband? I have no idea, Melanie. We don't know who it is. It's a stranger. But I do think it's odd that they haven't been arrested. In America, if you beat the crap out of somebody and the police is there and they question you, they're going to throw you in jail until they do further. Yeah,
and U.S. law, there's something called reasonable suspicion.
Yeah.
For which to detain someone. You can't go to trial for it, but at least you can be, you can be arrested and detained on reasonable suspicion. Like if you're going down the street, you see a police car driving by and you start to run, you can be apprehended on reasonable suspicion. I mean, just because it's suspicious, it's reasonable to think that somebody's trying to get away from law enforcement. Anyway.
Yeah. So
Steve, again, if this happened, it's deplorable.
Clearly something happened.
Something happened. This man got injuries from something. But yeah, whoever wrote this article did a poor job of putting together a comprehensive, and I don't mean like comprehensive including all details, but I mean like comprehensible, there's my word, a comprehensible story. It's like a bunch of different little facts, and it's like, I don't get what happened here.
So Ed says it sounds more like self-defense if the guy didn't go to jail. Steven says, I see a lot of more people involved.
Yeah, there are many facts missing.
Well, you know what I'm going to do, because this is what I do when I see a suspicious story like this. I'm going to take the guy's name. I'm going to put it in a Google News alert. I'm going to see what else comes up.
No.
Because 9 out of 10 times, something else will come up, and you'll get more facts than you ever thought you could.
No.
And I just think it's interesting. And the reason I bring it up, though, is because it's on a popular homosexual website, LGBTQ Nation, okay? And if you go and read the comments on the article, a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, the guy wasn't arrested. WTF. How come? Yeah, this is exactly why we need more laws to protect gay people. This. And what it does is it actually plays into the after the ball method of showing things only in their positive light. Because showing the gay community only in a positive light, it's suspicious. That's right. I think so too.
Sure, just the way the article ends. Well, now I'm paranoid of all men because it's not safe out there.
So Melanie says, I wonder if he has a Facebook page where we can look into that. And Magnus says that, you know, he wonders if it's fake news. 9 out of 10 times it could be. You never know. What I can tell you, though, is that the Disneyland news isn't fake. There's another article over here. Disney just released the rainbow Mickey Mouse ears in time for Gay Days. Yay! Oh my gosh, yes, aren't we so excited? First thing I have to note here is, did I send you that article? I think I did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So the rainbow for the gay community has 6 colors, everybody, not 7. There's 7 colors in God's rainbow, just so you know. There's only 6 colors in the homosexual adopted rainbow, just so you know. You know, the homosexual gay pride month and all this other stuff is nothing new. I boycott Disney personally. I don't watch Disney movies if I can help it. I don't go to Disneyland. Of course, I live in Tennessee now, so I don't even have that option. I try not to advocate anything Disney because I think, because they've perverted it. I mean, they're after our kids in more ways than one. Some people go, what? You never saw that movie? I'm like, yeah, I never saw that movie because there's homosexual themes in it and other things. But I just bring this up because I remember when I was in Southern California, my pastor at the time, young naive pastor that he is, maybe he's gotten a little bit smarter since we left the church a couple years back, but this naive young man, pastor of a church, decided to take his 2 children to Disneyland one day, walked in, paid the expensive fee to get into Disneyland, only to find out it was a gay day, to which he turned around and left. I'm like, yep, you might want to read more news than the stupid news you read because, you know, Gay Day at Disneyland is a lewd event. Just so you know.
Yeah, it's definitely not a family-friendly event. And
let me also say this. Note in the article that they're talking about the upcoming Gay Pride Month. Here's a fun fact for you guys. Ever since Donald Trump has been in office as president, June has not been declared Gay Pride Month by the president. When Abomination was president, it was for 8 years. I pretty much can guarantee June will not be deemed Gay Pride Month. So even though the world has been indoctrinated to believe that June is Gay Pride Month, actually there is no proclamation for it from the Trump administration at this point. Now I will say that I do find it intentional that they picked June because generally June is when men and women get married. A lot of them. I liked it when Ken Ham turned the arc rainbow color, taking back the rainbow. Yeah, and many years ago when I saw this, I actually developed a thing called Reclaiming the Rainbow, and at that time I didn't understand what I understand now. Pastor Scott Lively actually did a really, really good in-depth study on that. I actually think he called it Reclaiming the Rainbow. He is the head of what is his organization?
Mass Resistance? No, that's Brian Kamaker.
I have to Google it.
Defending the Family?
Defending the Family?
I think.
No, I don't think that's it.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I can look it up. Wait, hold on. I'm going to look it up because Scott Lively's book is a must read. It might be Defending the Family, but I don't think that's it. Lively.com.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, that's my phone.
I know.
Okay, wait, hold on. I have to Google Scott's name because otherwise I need to get him back on the show.
This is live broadcasting, people.
Scott Lively Ministries. Did he change the name of his thing?
Normal news broadcast is people in the background of the newsroom doing
No,
quick
you're right.
fact checks.
It is Defend the Family.
Defend the family.
Defend the Family.
Not defending.
Yeah, so if you go to defendthefamily.com, then you can see Scott's website. He has actually a book called, it's over here on the right-hand side, called Redeeming the Rainbow, and he has another book called The Pink Swastika, which talks about all of the socialism and Hitlerisms and all that other stuff that really the gay agenda got, there. But you can actually download the book. It's the Christian response to the gay agenda. The LGBT lobby hates Scott Lively. In fact, Scott Lively was vilified internationally for a crime a gay activist did. He was actually, if you Google Scott's name, you'll see that he was blamed for the murder of a top homosexual activist in Uganda. And the reason why is because Scott had the nerve to go over to Uganda and teach that homosexuality was changeable, but also to help them with their sexual health issue over there by offering abstinence education and some other stuff. And when he was there, a top homosexual activist got murdered. Scott got blamed for it. This made international news. They actually, America and the international courts deemed him, that he committed crimes against humanity. And here, this is the unbelievable part. Scott has this amazing testimony. I really need to get him on the show again. But he went from homeless to becoming an attorney, to becoming a pastor, to becoming the head of this ministry, to actually reaching out to the homosexual community and helping them and discipling people and all that. He's an awesome believer. He's bold as a lion, and he needs to be supported. I need to call him up and get him back on the show. It's been a while. But yeah, they don't like him because he states the truth, and truth, haters don't like truth. That's just the case. Yeah. Anyway, maybe take this moment to mention our other sponsor. Yes. April is almost over. Ariel Ministries. We have a Bible study. It's called The Resurrection of the Messiah. It's still free for April. If you go over to our website, BibleNewsRadio.com, go to our resources page. You can click on the link PDF there, download it. It's 39 pages. I hope you do, because, it's good biblical stuff. And that it is free. And then the other thing we have is that 20% off coupon code when you use coupon code Bible News. Use that, and you can save 20% on anything in the store. Also, Camp Shoshana is coming up. I know we don't have the link for that, but if you go to ariel.org, you guys can learn about camp. If I could go to camp and broadcast live from camp, that would be totally awesome. I would love it. I'd be like, yeah, here I am. I'm at Camp Shoshana. Anyway, and there's also some DVD sets from Messianic teacher Model Balston on there you might want to get, especially because this is the 70th anniversary of Israel's independence as a nation, born 1948. And so Israel's 20 years older than I am. Yeah, it is. So anyway, go do all that. And then all of you who are pillars of the community, I want to thank you all again. I actually got a donation from Julie. And Julie, I got your donation. I want to say thank you for it. Julie sent in a donation to us today and thanked me for covering the homeschooling issue. And I want you to know that touched my heart because she said in her message to me that she stopped listening to regular media and was super cool that we were covering it here on Bible News Radio. So, people want to know. The church wants to know. People want to do things. They want information. We have to go ahead and, give it. So thank you for supporting what we do. I'm humbled that you do. And, all of you, you guys, if you're touched by what we do, thank you for giving to it, and Lord willing, like I said, hopefully in a couple months or however long it takes, we'll file a nonprofit paperwork and be nonprofit. Your donations will then be tax deductible. And who knows, the Lord might actually open doors for me to do some other stuff and all that. So either way, I'm not going anywhere. God's going to have to take me away from this chair and this microphone here, you know. Alex, I homeschool my boys here in California. Well, very cool. You know what? Hey, I moved to Tennessee from California. And when I left Orange County, my friends in the activist work community were like, you can't go. You can't go. Don't go. All the good people are leaving. But you know what? I haven't left the activism world. I'm still here. And if you just joined the show, hi, Leanne. I hope you're feeling better, Leanne. I've been watching your post there. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. Leanne is in Canada. Oh, Canada. I got a funny story for you. Concerns pickleball, but I'll tell you that in just a second. See, my thoughts are like all this today. Anyway, yeah, so what I was saying earlier is that if there's an event in your area or an issue that you want me to tell people about, let me know. You can be my on-the-spot Bible News Radio reporter in that area like Denise was yesterday. You know, and then we'll do it. I mean, we all have a bullhorn, so to speak. We have a voice. Your little circle of influence, you can reach people I can't. But here's the thing. If you tell me I can reach people, you can't. And, you know, not that my platform's super huge, but you just don't know who knows who. You know what I mean? You just don't. So, anyway. And now it's near the end of the show. So, because it's almost the end of the show, it wouldn't be the end of the show unless I told you a pickleball story. All people here who likes my style, give some funding to Stacy and Randall. They're fighting evil 24/7. You just, yeah, I saw you. I think I followed you too. And here's the thing. Okay, you guys on Bullhorn, here's the thing. Use it, right? Go ahead, put something up. There's some super cool features in it. You can do voice to voice and some other stuff. So I can't find my pickleball.
Oh, no.
I know what happened to it.
Well, you threw it at the camera.
Oh, I did, so it's probably over there.
Threw the camera yesterday.
All right, so this story's for Leanne because she's in Canada. Okay, so Leanne, there's this couple that come down and they play pickleball. They live in Canada. And last Friday, or is it Saturday, we were having this, me and my friend were playing this couple, and they're a Christian couple, by the way. And they kicked our butt. The Canadians won. I was like, oh my gosh. I told my friend, I said, the Canadians are killing us here. And we got killed. I mean, it was slammed, right? You know, there's the purple pickleball over there. There's that one.
Looks blue to me, but
blue.
There's this one here.
Oh, there is? Okay. Anyway, so, so I told them, I said, you know what, you guys are Canadians. They even have the maple leaf on the pickleball paddle, just so you know. And anyway, long story short, I told them, I said, okay, this is it. This is war. Canada against America. We're going to play pickleball now. And keep in mind, we lost. We totally got, me and my friend Chuck, we totally lost. Anyway, long story short, we played a last game. I was so tired, so was my partner, and they were all tired. We were like, man, this is tired. And these guys are in their 60s who I was playing against, so they're even a little bit older than me. They got first serve. Boom. I hit it back. They lost serve. I got the next serve, and almost 7 serves in a row from me. Yeah, it was. They missed. And I called out the score. America won. Canada, I served the ball. You know, America won. Canada, America 2, Canada 1. So 1-2-1 or 2-1-1 or 2-2-0-1, whatever it was. And anyway, by the end of the game, it was like 9-1, and then we beat them. We got to 11, and they only got like 1 point, and we slaughtered Canada. Anyway, after the epic,
metaphorically,
the epic defeat of Canada, my friend was telling me, "You're really good at this, aren't you?" She said, "You had me intimidated when you kept calling out the name." And at the end, she's like, "Oh, Canada!" I'm like, yes, you guys got beat. Just so you know, they actually tune into the show sometimes too. It's kind of funny. I gotta be careful what I say here because a lot of my friends actually tune into the show. Anyway, so that was for free. Okay, so tomorrow is Friday, which means it's Free for All Friday, and I want to invite all of you to email me or tweet me or something, get in touch with me at some point. Tell me if there is anything that you would like Randall and I to talk about. We've had a very busy week this week. I am in the process of booking a lot more guests. I have some really fun people that I'm taking. It takes a while to book guests sometimes, but we have some good people coming up. Maybe the Oak Ridge Boys. Who knew? Right? Who would have thought? My mom would be so proud. She'd be like, my daughter got to talk to the Oak Ridge Boys. Anyway, so yeah, just let us know. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you're encouraged by today's show, that you actually made a difference. Yeah, you did. And you know, just be bold in your faith. Stand up, people, like Denise did and all those people who went to that homeschooling rally, and go with God because he loves you, but he's also got your back, right? The Bible says that if you deny Christ before men, he's going to deny you before the Father. So just know that. Just be bold in your faith. Bishop Simmons' birthday is tomorrow. All right. Happy birthday to the bishop. Hope you have an awesome day, the rest of your day. And, you know, and don't forget, sign up for my email list at BibleNewsRadio.com because you're going to get some news in there, a little bit of commentary. You'll get a recap of today's show, too. All right. All right. So, I was going to throw the ball, but I don't know what happened to it.
I'll throw it to you.
Oh. Okay. You guys like it when I do this, don't you?